How's this? How we doing? Hello again. Hello to all of you. Test, test, 1, 2. The webcam, I'm using my webcam for a microphone because my Yeti is no more. Okay. I'm waiting. All right. Voice is still low. Okay, good. I have to let the lag go through because, whew. All right, thank you, yay. And the balance is good, right on. So hello again. We'll try this. Third time's a charm, right? Third time pays for all, as they say. Good evening and welcome. Here I am. I'm so excited. And so I will go through the list again. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Sam. Hello, Sharella. Hello, Tavia. Hello, Becca. Hello, Darcy. Hello, Jessica. I'm so glad to see you all here. I'm so glad. I've missed you. I've missed you terribly. I've missed me terribly. But oy vey, is it hot? Here's a prayer that wherever you are, you have access to some cool air and good water, and that you know, any harm from this excessive heat it's still spring, y'all. It's still spring. So, whoo boy. So yeah, you've got hello Serenka. You have the summertime sound of the hum of multiple fans in the background, and that's the way it is. You notice I did not light a candle at the beginning because that's too much heat. I've already got enough heat from the lights that I have going on, and I only have a tiny little smidgen of a charcoal because we have to have incense, but not a whole charcoal's worth. So let me light that, and actually let's do a little bit of a grounding, huh? First of all, this is apparently a new toy that people are using in spirit work. This is a cat toy. Okay, you push the little button and it goes flashy, flashy, flash. It's motion triggered. So I'm gonna put it down like right there. And I want to make sure that, okay, so if I bump the desk, it's not setting it off. Good. So if that goes off, you know that something is affecting it. So let's take a moment and just come into presence. I'm going to turn right on to this. And I also have to do something else here. Hold on a minute. Yes, good. Oh, okay. I swear to God, 2 minutes before go time, or I think it was 3 minutes before, and it's like, oh shit, I need to open iTunes. Oh shit, I need to do this. Oh shit, I need to do that. And then, anyway, I'm here. And I have a lot of anxiety because it's been a while. So, and I know people are probably thinking, you know, why would you have anxiety? You do this all the time. It's the way I'm built. So I have a lot of anxiety tonight. I have high nervous energy, and one of the perils of having Scorpio rising, of being Plutonian, and being a Leo as well, because Leo means I'm a performer. So when I'm in front of a camera, I go into performance mode, which is not exactly in the same place as connected reader mode. And then being a Plutonian with Pluto rising, I come on with all barrels blazing, you know, and I use up, you know, I crank my energy output to 11, and I can't afford that. So I'm going to bring it down a notch. And isn't that cool, Deb? I saw somebody with it. It's like, what a brilliant idea. Okay, So let's just let your breath out. And let's put a grounding cord, a root down into the earth from the base of your spine. And let's just drain out everything you don't need. Drain, drain, drain. And now bring the earth energy up through your cord and into your body. I trust you to let it circulate everywhere it needs to be. And as you draw in breaths, you can draw up more energy, however much you need to have in your system right now. Bring that consciously into your body. And now letting your breath all the way out, and take a nice deep breath in, and then breathe it out the crown. Let it flow down and make an egg all around you. Feel yourself enclosed and safe, protected in this space. And let me light my... There we go. Oh, you're not going to light her. Oh dear me. Do the thing. Do the thing. Okay. Oh dear me. Let's have a bell to clear the space of any harmful excess or deficiency. And then another to bring us 100% into this moment, this time, this space. And then a third to invite spirit in and set our intent to open the door to wisdom tonight. And then, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you so very much for being in our presence tonight and bringing your wisdom to us. Let's put a little... I offer this sacred smoke by air and fire. May you be purified and charged. And through this salt water, by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And to our guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, I offer fresh water and the fire of Azrael. We so value your wisdom, and we open our ears to it. Okay. They're all very, very good decks, Sarenka. And so if you're new here, this is not a pick a card setup. This is not readings for the signs. It is just general readings, and it's wisdom that we can all use. There will be something for you here regardless, okay? So let's introduce our decks. The first one here is the Wildwood Tarot by Mark Ryan and John Matthews. Excellent deck. When I asked this one what it wanted to talk about tonight, it gave me Hawk. So this is the messenger deck. was the first one that I decided to use, and the messenger's definitely coming in. And then the second is the Divine Feminine Oracle, and this is by, the artwork is Lisbeth Cheever Jessamine, and Megan Watterson is the author. Because we always need spirit here, right? The third, you may have seen the unboxing. Was it last week, last Friday? The Beyond Lemuria deck. Stunning, stunning deck by Izzy Ivy. Someone recommended to me, so I will recommend to you that you find her on Instagram. If you just search Izzy Ivy, you'll find her. To see the size of these original paintings. They're massive. And it gave me a little bit of sympathy toward and understanding toward deck authors that choose really stiff cardstock and big, big giant cards. It's like to have these glorious huge artworks and think about them shrunk down to nothing. Still, there's a balance to be struck. Okay, this, making its debut on a live stream, is the Ocean Oracle. All 200 of them. Because we really need the presence of water in balance. This is The Journey into the Hidden Realm by Barbara Moore and Julia Jeffrey. And this deck, let's see, I don't recall, I don't think I asked Megan's deck, but for the Beyond Lemuria deck, when I asked what it wanted to talk about, or if it wanted to play tonight, and it said communication co-creation, which is totally about what we're about here. The Ocean Oracle, when I asked if it wanted to play, it gave me someone or something increasing in value. Hopefully that's my content for you. So Hidden Realm, I asked, oh my god, hair in my mouth. I asked the Hidden Realm, and the High Priestess came out. Always a confirmation when it's time to do readings. And then the last one is The Enchanted Forest by Linnea Weatherstone, and I can't remember who the artwork is. Linnea, and Marela Allwood is the artist. And I reserve the right to cut things however short I need to cut them. And as I was saying before, we can, with Scorpio rising, the other thing we can do besides, having energy on 11 all the time is just steamroll your own body. I can impose my will upon my body to a certain extent. There's a price. But yeah, it's really easy to just get into performer mode and just ignore what my body's telling me. So I'm going to work very hard to strike that balance tonight. I'm also drinking coffee, so All right. Let's do the Astro Dice. All right, hold on. I got to center myself. It is so fucking hot, you guys. It's amazing because we get through the entire day and it's pretty chill up here. And once evening comes, because the sun hits full on the front of the house in the evening, and it just, things start ratcheting up. Okay, back to concentrating. Okay, what we have is the Dragon's Tail in Scorpio. Oh my. Oh my. And first house. Okay. Okay. So this literally is talking about our old habits, of our old habitual ways of doing things. That's the Dragon's Tail. It's the path that is known. And the old, better the devil you know. This is what, when people refuse the path of new learning and just keep repeating old patterns, that's the South Node stuff. In Scorpio, intensity and transformation in the first house of the body. So it's like my old habit of steamrolling my own body through my Plutonian intensity. That's it right there. The other thing, though, is that we're being called now to transform the past. You know, Scorpio is transformation, and looking at, you know, a positive message from this, bringing that scorpionic intensity but transformative energy as well, death and rebirth, initiatory experience. And it is primal. It's part of the physical body. So, ooh, they just hollered physical memory at me. So being able to go into the past and look at old memories that were perceived maybe through the lens of trauma, through the lens of anger, through the lens of grief, of abandonment, and finding where those energies live in the body, and then looking at how we can transform. And you know what is a really short way of saying this? Forgiveness. Looking at what is ready to be forgiven. Truly, truly forgiven, to the point where you can process the past through the body, transform it through the body, and come to a new understanding. I told my therapist one time, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. And I thought her head was going to spin around. She's like, what? And it's like, no, I can give myself the things that I feel that I missed, and I can process the old trauma to the point where I can recover the good memories, and I can look at things from the perspective that I have now. But that first house really is all about who we are physically, this identity, you know, this thing that we think of as solid, but it's not solid. It's constantly changing. It looks, you know, we kind of carry this same look throughout our lives, although it changes pretty radically, but people can still recognize us. Still, this isn't who we are, really, right? So, okay, I'm going to stop there because I could go on for an hour and a half just about that. But yeah, we really are called to, and why? So that we can dump the load of the past. The present right now needs our absolute utmost attention. Our energies are needed here, now. We are in critical times, and we need to be able to be fully present. And in order to do that, to the extent that we're able, because these things have their own time frames, right? To the extent that we are able to let go of the trauma, or you know, complete the process, because you might have traumas that you really have processed the energy, but you haven't gotten to that conscious place of saying, this contract is fulfilled. I forgive. I will no longer live in reference to this. You know, I choose to let go of my anger, knowing that you can pick the scab any old time you want to. This is part of me too, going, I can make myself just as sick as I was years ago by neglecting what I need to do for my body, and by, most importantly, eating the wrong fucking things. Yikes. So here we go. All right, I am going to catch up a little bit. Yeah, I haven't seen many hawks lately because I haven't left the house. Yes, Sam, thank you. If you've got a deck that was jumping out at you, pay attention to that message. Yeah, I know, 96 at like 2:30 in the afternoon or something, it was 91, and the heat index was 99. So yikes. Which timelines to collapse and which timelines to move forward in. I love that language, Sam. I love that language. Yes, thinking of that timeline, it is fulfilled. It's like I've wrung all the juice out of this orange, and now it's just flaccid. There's nothing left. It has no power over me, you know? So great analogy there. Okay. Let's go to the tiny, teeny, tiny diamond and do a little bit more Fire of Azrael. And ooh, do I have some more new decks for you? I went down to my daughter's on Monday because she bought 5 decks. 5. Oh, you know what? That might make things a little bit cleaner sound-wise. So I realized if I don't mute myself on the monitor on YouTube, or did I? Left display capture. Okay, maybe. Anyway, no. I'm scattered, y'all. Okay. We are on a Capricorn moon tonight, by the way. And oh my God, as those words left my lips, Capricorn moon popped up on the chat. Hello, my dear. I mean, the timing, I think your chat is more caught up to things than, I think the video has more of a lag. It's very strange. But as soon as I said Capricorn moon, she popped up. So it's a serious moon. It's a structured moon, and my brain is haywire. So we'll see how this goes. All right, which one of you has a message for us first? Who's going first? Number 6. All right, we have our. Oh, and I don't remember which card popped out when I asked this deck what it wanted to do. What in the hell is making things so hot that's not charcoal? Whew. It was not hot and sweaty in here before. All right, let's give it a shuffle. All right, what do we need to know tonight? And I mean, I haven't even touched on the nature of the critical things that are going on. You guys know what they are. I don't have to bring them into this space. I'm sure if there are specific things we need to know, it'll be coming out. They want one more. And then, okay. The Weaver of Challenges is who came out there. Ten of Boons. The Boons are the equivalent of Pentacles in this deck. Okay. Oh, we have 2. We have the 5 of Visions. Visions in this deck are water. And then we have the Wise Woman down here. So here's the High Priestess up again. So we're starting off with the Weaver of Challenges is the Queen of Swords. So she is, I'm looking at the briars here. I'm looking at it's actually roses and the thorns that are coming up. She has a crow. So the Queen of Swords typically talks about that discernment, being able to step outside of the emotional, to see very clearly what's going on. She and the High Priestess are cousins, as is the Queen of Cups to the High Priestess. So this is more the intuitive, which is based in her knowledge, based in her keen insight. Here's what I see. Here's what I see that needs to happen. And I am going to go to the book with these as well. Because Linnea Weatherstone is an amazing author. Oh yeah, I think these are, yes, these go by number, not by suit. And here you can see a bigger picture of her, because this book gives you these fabulous, full, colorful page things. Okay. Intelligent, sharp, quick-witted, cool, discerning, witty, powerful, very powerful, brilliant, shrewd, attention to detail. They're telling me to cut for a clarifier. I get 2. Okay, I get the White Heart. And we also have the Weaver of Spells reversed. I don't think anything else is reversed in this deck currently. Look. No reversals. 0 cards reversed in this deck, and yet that card decided to come out reversed. So we pay attention. So even if, you know, the beginning of my professional reading career, I did not read reverses. I just didn't do it. But if somebody, and I learned to watch people and how they shuffled, because some people flip and turn. But even after I stopped letting people shuffle, um, I just, I didn't read reverses. But if something goes to the trouble, if my guides go to the trouble of making cards turn around, then I'm going to pay attention. So we have this keen discernment, and the white heart is the Fool card in this deck. So it's this magical being. It's like the quest, the energy of the quest for something pure and magical. Look at the white color. And the heart, oh golly, that's my last name, H-A-R-T. So this is a family totem for me. So we're talking about setting out on a grand adventure. And look at, we have a queen and a queen. I love it when you can tell the readings are valid right off the rip here. So we are talking about a new beginning, off on an adventure with discernment. And the Weaver of Spells reversed is telling me don't let your emotions carry you away here. Don't, it's a caution against taking things personally. So the shadowy traits here, no, the spells are wands, not water. Sorry. Take back what I just said. Shadow traits are jealousy, fiery temper, impatience. Meddling is an outlet for thwarted creative purpose. Whoopsie. Upright, she's passionate, confident. So this is the Queen of Wands. Sense of humor. So this is saying that we can take things a little too seriously and lose our humor when we're setting out on this path that we're on, when we're looking at the challenges we face now. We need to not be naive about them, to be discerning and insightful, but we also need to keep our divine innocence. And that means taking things at face value. That means keeping a sense of humor, as you know, the world and the gods have an incredible sense of humor that stings like hell. So we need to, be discerning and mature, but also keep the divine innocence and the open-mindedness, and like this beginner's mind, of just watching how the world unfolds to us, and then being empowered in each moment to choose what we wish to do. The Ten of Boons is talking about financial resources, the resources that we have, and look at this long table, enough and plenty to spare and to share. So we want to have a mind to our resources here and what we have to share, and ask the question, do we have enough? Do we have enough? Five of Visions right next to it talks about loss. Look at the golden ball is going into the pond. She's about to lose her golden ball. I'm going to look up that one. But Five of Cups is, is about loss and feeling that loss. So we can be feeling like we don't have the resources that we need, and, physically to deal with things. Temporary disappointment, pause in happiness, positive options remain. So just like the Five of Cups, there are still cups left. And then we've got the Wise Woman down here. So we need to bring all of our wisdom to bear. If you're feeling, this is the time to be resourceful. If you're feeling a sense of lack, I found myself in, the last days when the worries get really bad, and, I'm severely limiting my intake of the hearings. I don't watch them live. I go afterwards and get the news and the highlights and what we really need to take away from it, but I'm not consuming it. And I was telling my son's partner today, when there's a lot of overwhelm and a lot out there, and you start especially feeling powerless. Queen of Wands reversed. She's very empowered and powerful, but it's reversed. We're feeling powerless. So I have to make sure that I am in this beautiful home. I have everything I need. I have an air conditioner to keep me cool. We are wealthy beyond imagining in this world. So it's that balance, acknowledging loss, but then coming back to the resources that you do have and looking at it with the eyes of wisdom, with beginner's mind, and with the eyes of wisdom, with discernment. And let's look at addressing every time we feel powerless. You know, what's this about, and how can we bring ourselves back into the present moment and into our sphere of influence? Here are the things I can actually affect. Let me focus on those. Okay? So yippee skippy, they're coming out talking. They've missed us too. We've missed them, they've missed us. Okay. Good, I'm glad that rang your bell, Saranka. Now, who's up next, little guys? Number three is Beyond Lemuria. Okay. All right. I'm just new with this deck, so it's all about beginner's mind. Just opening to whatever it has to tell us. So, Mirian spirits, what do you have to tell us tonight? They're telling me to cut and draw. And we've got ones that want out. You are numbers 2 and 3, but I've got 4 or 6. Okay. We've got 6 out. Alignment is the topic here. Look at the chakras. So this card is telling us, I think should I zoom in a little bit? Yeah, this deck is just luminous. So it's all about alignment. And the alignment of what? Well, speaking of starting in the middle of your sphere of influence, right here, the alignment of your energy systems, the alignment of your beliefs with your behaviors, the alignment of the health I want to have and how it's connected to the food I put in my face. Talking to me right there. Okay. Let's see what we have here. The Sound of the Universe and Mount Shasta. Ooh, I can't wait to read you guys this card. So when you get to the chakra cards in this deck, they have little symbols in the corner. So the Sound of the Universe, I'll fill you in more on that later. Like I said, I got scatterbrain today, whatever. The Sound of the Universe, I've watched a show on Gaia channel. I think it's just called Sound, but it's fascinating. It gets a little out there a couple of times, but the vast majority of it is just physics and science about sound. The power of sound, what sound is, that everything is vibration. It just depends on the frequency, whether it's, you know, this density material, whether it's in the visible realm, whether it's in the audible realm, whether it's, you know, X-rays and gamma rays and things. That's all part of the same spectrum of energy. So the sound of the universe, to me, is the great Om. And, you know, looking at alignment of our belief system and our values with perhaps the sound that we are adding to that chorus of the universe. Are we adding something harsh? Are we adding music? And is it our music, really? Why did I go to page 51? No, card 51. There it is. All right. Life-changing experiences, glimpsing the great mystery, significant timing, pivotal moments, the Sri Yantra, which is this geometric figure down here, the tuning fork of universal consciousness, music, transcending mundane reality. One of the things, once I get some physical function back to where it belongs, is reclaiming music. It's been a long time. Okay. I'm going to read this whole sound, the description here. This card signifies those pivotal moments that transcend belief, remind us of a greater reality, and influence us so that life will never be the same again. When I started channeling paintings, I explored sacred geometry by including it as a key element in my creations without knowing much about its meaning. When I looked up the wisdom of the Sri Yantra, I was blown away. It symbolizes the sound of the universe. This painting was crucial for me as it was my make or break decider for whether I could fulfill my dream as a painter. It was also significant as I crashed my car trying to steady the painting and momentarily taking my eyes off the road. Holy shit. The events that followed delivered the most spiritual growth I had experienced in this lifetime up until that point. Interestingly, this piece has also vanished. The Sri Yantra is a powerful symbol described as the tuning fork that connects us to universal consciousness. It is present in those aha moments, the fragments in time when life as we know it falls away to reveal a place outside mundane. It's the ringing of the bell. It brings a sense of awe and overwhelms, and yet it feels so real that it jolts us back to our core for deeper remembering. It allows us to fathom our limitlessness. This card is also about music as a sacred tool. It speaks of the importance of having a soundtrack for our journey. Music was an essential aspect of ceremony in Lemuria as it bridged the gap between matter and non-matter. Even in this dimension, music opens the portals to an array of feelings and atmospheres. Bring more music into your life to expand your experience and shift your sense of ordinary reality. The divinatory meaning says having your world shaken up even a little can invite a deeper glimpse of the great mystery of your life. There are myriad ways to peek behind the veil of the mundane world. Ecstatic dance, I miss mother drums so bad. Spiritual exploration and intuitive creative pursuits are just a few. Aim to naturally imbue this awareness in your everyday existence so you can avoid the sudden wake-up calls. Wake up to the hidden music, harmony, and wonder of your multi-dimensional world. So, the bell is ringing for us to help us align. And now, Mount Shasta, I will, give you a synopsis of this because I have read this whole entry. When she received an intuitive message that she would be delving into working on this deck at a deeper level, she went to Mount Shasta because she was very drawn there. On arrival at Mount Shasta town, I was involved in a Pleiadian channeling circle where I had a vision of the stars communicating with the mountain through light code, and interconnected glowing grid lines lay over the entire earth. I've experienced these luminescent grid lines before. I've been told I can put my hand into them and connect my healing light with all the other lights doing their work across the planet. We will be doing a prayer circle with that soon, I guarantee you. Okay, so she made this painting and she channeled these figures, and then she realized that okay, she says, I planned to include symbols on the 10 chakra cards that would activate the chakras, but I wasn't sure how. The creation of these cards has been a profound unfolding, and when I sought guidance, I received the message that the chakra activation codes were in this Mount Shasta painting. There was a symbol for each of the chakras, and you can find them on the bottom left-hand side of the chakra cards. This image is the seed crystal that this whole deck is based around. So here is the ringing sound of the universe and the light codes to bring us into alignment. Let's see what else we got here. The Portal Keeper, the Infinite, and Surrender. I don't have to look these up at all. So, the Portal Keeper is a guardian for both ways. It guards us from going into places we're not ready to go. It also guards those places from people that aren't ready to be there. So the Portal Keeper here is telling me that we need to connect and find our way in. It's time to look at our access into the portal and what we have to pay to get in. Now I know in the charge of the goddess, it says, nor do I demand aught of sacrifice. But, you know, the law of karma is cause and effect. It's exchange. It's the wheel that turns. So we do, if we give in offering, if we bring our whole selves and our talents and our gifts to this portal, and we bring our sincere intent to enter and get the fucking work done, we gain access to the infinite. But then that also means surrender. We can't go into these spiritual infinite places and think we're going to be in control of the process. So at some point, you've got to let go of your illusion of control if you want to access these incredible sound and light vibrations, to bring it into alignment, to step into the infinite, to remember who you are. We cannot go in with this illusion of control. All right, I am going to look up because I just want to see. Portal Keeper says unique gateways to mystical experiences, psychic ability, raising your vibration, expanded consciousness, the Akashic records, past life ties, exploring the edges of reality for significant messages, seeing between the lines, multidimensional awareness. And my guides are just screaming at me. So this is also the time to talk to your guides, because they make the path smooth for you. They can open the way for you. And they can also be right there to tenderly and lovingly smack you upside the fucking head when you're being an idiot once you get there, or once you're kind of in process, you know? So we have the opportunities that we always have. It's just a matter of approach. And let me tell you, I did not shoot a video, and I apologize. I did not shoot a video for this past full moon, but that T-square, Neptune, Sun, Moon, holy shit. Talk about psychic energy. But the squares, you know, Neptune is dissolving any idea of this solid identity, and it's squaring the moon dissolves any sense of security, any illusion of security. So what that T-square is doing is dissolving illusions on a very personal level, because it's sun and moon. So time now to, if we want a big wake up, time to allow the illusion of solidity and permanence and control to dissolve. Allow them to dissolve. And then and only then can you surrender. You surrender those things. If I give up this solid image of myself, who's left? Who is, you know, the thinker of the thoughts? And we can access the infinite. Whew. Okay, let me catch up on notes. Aligning vibration with Earth, absolutely. Yes, this deck is in-frickin-credible. Clue by Force. I love it, Samantha. So, yeah. Here we go. And this is why, you know, the current events was like the furthest thing from my mind tonight, because it really felt like, no, just spirit needs to get through. And it feels like a pause. We're kind of like, because everybody's riveted and we don't know which way things are going to go. Okay. Who's next? Three, we just did you. Six, we did you too. Can I have one of the other four numbers, please? 4, okay. This is the Ocean Oracle. I have no idea how this is going to go, because literally I have never used it in this way. I shuffled them up really well, which was kind of a bummer because they were all in order, because the way this deck is supposed to work is you lay they give you these maps with all of the images on them, and you lay them out and you pick the image that you're really drawn to. And then there's the message. But the problem is there are some that I'm never going to be drawn to, because just my, you know, my ego going, that's not pretty, or, you know, whatever. So we're just going to do like a regular reading deck, and we'll see how it goes. can't even, you know, they're not that big of a deck, but I can't even really cut shuffle them that way because there's so damn many of them. I have 3 decks that have 200 cards in them. This one, the tea leaves, and the teal swan deck, and I got something to say about that too. So I will say that right now. Hulu has a series on called The Deep End, which is about teal swan. And that Inner Compass deck of hers I have, and that has 200 cards too. It's not a reading deck, it's a human values deck that you can just learn to, you know, use to identify your values. Oh boy, let's just say that I don't know how they're going to have a second season. I don't know how. Okay, I'll say no more. Here's our first one. Okay, these decks are so tuned that as I'm talking, this one flew out, and it's the Common Tusk, and the meaning is perceiving someone as heartless. So they were listening. I think I'm going to set you aside because I'm not sure that's part of our message here, but we'll find out. Trust, 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 Luna. Okay. What do we need to know tonight? What message can you give us, Spirit? Come on out. All right. They're telling me to cut. Or shuffle with my eyes closed is the best way to do it. Okay. Let's see what we have, and then we can add to it. This came out first. So we had, let's not forget that we had this Common Tusk. So perceiving someone as heartless. First one here is the St. James Scallop. Being someone's hero, a hero's journey. This is a gorgeous, see, this is one of the ones I would pick every time because I love it so much. The Chambered Nautilus. Something from the past returning as part of a pattern, mistakenly thinking the door is closed on a past event. There's those. And then we have Isabella Cowrie, uncontrollable fear and panic. Holy shit, do we need more? So perceiving someone as heartless. Clearly, I'm just going to try and read this as generically as I can. Clearly, this is about someone that we have an extreme struggle with. Someone that just doesn't feel us and what we need. Someone without empathy. The hero's journey is about going into the Shadowland to, you know, battle your demons. Definitely going towards the shadow. And then this part, something from the past returning as a pattern, we talked about that at the outset. So that validates those and the uncontrollable fear and panic. So this message is not at all done by a long shot. So sometimes the fastest way to get to something, and to get to that transformative place, if you are able, is to just name your fears. Name them right out loud. Say the thing you are absolutely the most afraid of. The, you know, the trauma you're most afraid of facing, the thing you're most afraid of doing. These did not come out. They were kind of left on top when the other two came out. So, well, you know, I'm not sure. You need to give this deck chances to tell us what it needs to tell us. Okay. I want me to cut for the last one. And it gave me 2 again. Got a lot of pairs here. All right. So here we have the Pearly Nautilus. We have the Chambered Nautilus and the Pearly Nautilus. This one is pressure and stress. And then Bednall's Volute is networking and connections. Okay. Let's see what these two were. Rescue, safety, hunting, stalking, signs of obsession. Holy shit, man. And then we got, that's another Volute. This is a ribbed arc. then these two say going at a slower pace in order to flourish, retreating in order to grow, retreating in order to grow. And this is a sand dollar, something being overlooked, the connection between the divine and one's own role in life, experiences both good and bad. All right. So, wow. I mean, I feel like this is probably resonating on a personal level with someone. It isn't really for me, so I am working here to generalize this for the collective. So I'm going to manipulate here. Sorry, gang, but I am. Hunting, stalking, rescue, safety. Okay, so let's trust the deck here. This rescue, safety, and hunting, stalking, signs of obsession. All right, this is a call to be very practically careful. Things are becoming terrifying as far as the US of A and our gun problem. The governor of my state yesterday signed into law arming teachers, that teachers may now carry guns into their schools with 24 hours of training. If my children were still in school, they would be no longer. Okay, so this is talking about thinking about where you go, and Ohio also just did a concealed carry law where you can have a concealed weapon without training or licensure or anything else. So yeah. Human frequency, yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I'm catching up with messages here. Oh, there is a lot of negativity. We are reaping. This is reaping. You know, Pluto at the end of Capricorn, he dips his toe into Aquarius next spring for a very brief amount of time, and then back out again. And, you know, there's a couple ins and outs before it goes into stay. But this is it, man. We've got rot at the root with it in Capricorn, and the whole structure is rotten, and that's what we're looking at and seeing, and it's coming out. You know, when we want things to come out into the light of day, we can't then, you know, flip out when they show themselves. So, but this is very practical. We're dealing with the pressure and the stress. We are taking this hero's journey to, you know, not only deal with our own personal shadow, but deal with this collective shadow as well. And that brings up fear and panic. The networking and connections here, we really do need to have our connections strong with the people that we rely on, right? With our personal collective. And then something being overlooked, the connection between the divine and one's own role in life. Clearly, that's the call again to serve our spiritual purpose in this very earthbound, practical time and circumstance. And this talking about going at a slower pace in order to flourish and retreating in order to grow. Sometimes we've got to pull back from the outside there in order to go deep and really work. And with this talking about being very careful about where we go, I'll tell you, I mean, I have a disorder to begin with, but you will not catch me at any big public event. Not just because of COVID, it's because of the guns now too. So that's what I'm seeing here. There is this card at the beginning is telling us that there's a lot of heartlessness, and not because people are intentionally mean and cruel, although there are many like that, but some because they are so traumatized and wounded that they will not risk opening their hearts, because if they open their hearts, fucking Pandora's box, all the trauma comes out as well. So yeah, this is really just about, and you know, this is a water deck, obviously, so it is going to address where we're at emotionally and what's going on. So it's time to buck up, heroes and heroines, and be willing to take this deep dive and to do whatever we need to do to keep ourselves safe. We need to connect with people. Sometimes we need to slow down and be internal, and be willing to look at both the good and bad here. Whew. Okay. Oh my goodness, Sarinka. You know that you have a level of fear that I'm not living. And if we can take a moment to send a tremendous amount of love to Eastern Europe altogether. You know, there's that. Everything's coming apart at the seams. That's the sense that I have this summer, is things coming apart at the seams because this outfit does not fit us anymore. It's way out of style and it just doesn't fit. And it's ready to blow its seams here. All right, let's see. Oh, thank God, Becca. Cleveland School voted unanimously not to allow teachers to carry. Well, it's like, let's follow this. Let's just follow this scenario. So I'm waiting for the first time a teacher has had enough and goes off. But more than that, I'm waiting for the next kid that's like, hey, we got guns right here in the schools with us right now. You know, it's just unconscionable and horrendous. Okay. Becca, yes. Exactly, Becca, right on. I have to assume everybody has a fucking gun because you can carry it concealed and don't have to tell anybody. Okay. Hello, Donna. Welcome, my dear. Yeah, that was very, very, very interesting. So when I was thinking about it, it's like, what's my earth deck? What's my air deck? And then that broke down like it always does. But the ocean oracle, it's like, I've never reached for this on these live streams. So she earned her keep here tonight. All right, we have 2 more to go. And there goes the, oh no. Oh my God, you guys, this could be disastrous. I just dropped the tiny red die. There it is. Thank you, Ingrid. Oh, thank the gods. And I may have to let the drumming start and take a teeny little break for a second. I'll be right back. Oh no. I'm back. Sorry about that. Coffee. And then somebody's in the bathroom up here, so I had to go all the way downstairs. All right. Next, little tiny die. Little tiny die. 3. Okay, we have 1 and 2 are the only ones left, darling. 1 and 2. 2. And I forgot to tell, I told you guys, but my guides, if anybody wants to pop in and make that sucker light up, we're here for it. All right, so this is Divine Feminine, Megan Watterson. So here's where we call on the goddess in her infinite names and guises. And 3. One of the things in the series on sound was they talked about multiples of 9. 3, you know, the whole 9 thing in multiples of 9, and it's like, yes, that's why my prayer beats have 36 beats and 45 knots, because everything is about the triple 3. All right, and here they come. The Black Madonna. Our Lady of the Hermits, I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. Then we have Joan of Arc, the Warrior of Light. I have a steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. We have Lala, the saint of spoken words, sound. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. And then over here we have Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. So our pain and our suffering, and I see the Black Madonna coming out here, and the goddess of the tribes, the goddess of the common people, the ancient goddesses, the brown goddesses, are the ones that are really coming into their own. And okay, so pain and suffering, and we allow that pain and suffering not to harden us, not to give us armor, not to shield our hearts. So in that last reading, I was talking about people that seem to be heartless and cold because they are not in touch with their own energy system, you know, because the trauma has put armor on them. And the thing is, you can't just compartmentalize and section off. Here, I'm going to put the trauma away and keep the joy. It's not true deep joy if you're walled off a part of that circle. It's a circle, right? Up and down, all the way around. Okay. So then the warrior goddess. So we're talking about wounds and trauma, and then we have this warrior. So the steel-like faith in myself and the will to fight, to go, literally to go into battle here. So whatever battles we might be fighting, we need to really look on a local, like a close-in level around us to see what is it that I can do here. What is it I can do? I can contact my political representatives, you know. I can contact them and tell them, here's what I think. Here's what I think about what's going on. I can sign petitions. I can let my voice be heard and just fight against things that are happening. So Becca was a perfect example. Even though in Ohio, okay, we're going to arm teachers, Cleveland school system has said not here, and I bet you Columbus will say not here, and I bet you Kent will say not here, and Akron, because those are, we say that Ohio is a red state, but there are these massive pockets of blue. And of course, as it is pretty much everywhere, it's in the urban centers and where the universities are. Those tend to skew liberal and blue. So at those local levels, we fight against the idiocy that's being done at the higher levels. But fight we must. She has armor on, but it is armor that's not there to wall off something within herself. It's to protect, you know, to keep herself safe as she's carrying her conviction out there. Strong faith in yourself, you carry it out to affect change outside. And then we have the Lady of the Interior Life, Teresa of Avila. I trust the answers I find within me. I know the presence of love is real. So here's faith, here's love, this incredible, bright interior life. And then down here, we have the prayer work. So the interior work, the exterior work through the faith in yourself, doing the prayer work and devotional work as well. And I'm really looking at her, Our Lady of the Hermits. I have referred to myself as a hermit so many times in the last few years. And I love my hermity ways. And for me, I feel like I need to go in and be very clear and distinguish between my hermity ways that are because of fear and my hermity ways that are because of this is the way my nervous system is built, you know. From the time I was a little child, you want me in my happiest place, it's by myself, you know. So, and I have a son that was just diagnosed autistic, so got questions. Anyway, this is our call to really do our spiritual practice and to get into ritual, to address the wounds that we have and to bolster our internal sense of love, our faith in ourselves, and then to project that out through sound and prayer. So here's another theme tonight, that sound of the universe. Chanting prayer, singing prayer, speaking prayer into the wind, putting that sound vibration out. You know, you could even charge a bell with a particular prayer and ring that bell. The, you know, sound vibration never goes away, because as it's going, it excites other things, and the waves go out and come back. And do your work, witches. Do your work, do your prayer work, do your devotional work, make your offerings, and bring the change. Okay, now we have I only been on here for just a little over an hour? It's kind of blowing my mind. Wow, okay. So here's the Wildwood. Let's give them a shuffle. This deck definitely has a masculine feel to it. The author and artist are men. I love the balance because, you know, these, like the Linnea deck was a very feminine deck. Wait. Now wait, oh. We didn't do the Hidden Realm, did we? We did that and that. So we have 2 decks to go. No wonder I'm off. Okay. So we're doing Wildwood first, obviously. All right. It is a good day to die. Hey. Yep. There's a so Monday night, coming up on the full moon. I did not have and do not have most of the time the energy to do, you know, ritual the way I used to do it. And I'm realizing more and more as a crone that it's because I've internalized all these things. You know, ritual is inside me. But Monday night, I had a very special working that I wanted to kick off, but rather than do a candle or something, you know, external like that, propped myself up in bed, put some really great music on in my headphones, and the album I was listening to is Robbie Robertson and the Red Road Ensemble. It's called Music for the Native Americans. Fabulous CD from I think the late 80s, early 90s. And there's a song on there called It Is a Good Day to Die. So talks about Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull and the ghost dance and meeting life like that with your all, you know. Don't leave anything off the stage. Leave it all on the stage when you come out for your performance. All right, they're telling me to shuffle, and then they want me to take them off the top. 7 of Stones, Healing. 10 of Stones, Home. 4 of Vessels, Boredom. Oh, okay, so boredom So we're talking about healing home, healing our environment on a close-in level. It's our actual home. And, you know, what kind of lawn do we have? Do they put chemicals on our lawns? Can we grow food? That kind of stuff. Healing at home, making sure that environment is healed to Mother Earth, our home. And the card here, Four of Vessels, is boredom. And one of the flags that there's something that we're avoiding is boredom, because boredom is a symptom of surface, being on the surface and not being connected deeply. You know, boredom happens when we've made kind of an unconscious decision of, I'm not going to think about that, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to go there, I don't want to be, and then we're not engaged. We don't engage with ourselves, and then we have problems gauging with the outside world. So this is talking about engagement, and engagement with the aim to heal our home. So, okay, I'm hearing special interest really loud. As far as the earth goes and healing it, it's like, what is your little niche? Do you have a particular thing that you're very concerned with? Is it the water? And, you know, the natural waters being healthy, or making sure that people have access to clean drinking water? Is it pesticides and the things that we grow in the earth, and trying to, you know, bring back the pasture lands rather than shallow rooted grasses, that kind of stuff? Is it air pollution? Is it ethical energy sourcing and how we use our energy? What is it that calls you, that's your special interest? So coming out of boredom to take this special interest. My daughter's right now is mushrooms. That's a big trend, which, I mean, she's like really, really into out and identifying them and medicinal properties and all that kind of stuff. So what would you say is your niche for healing the planet? What is your particular connection to her? We have the Archer, and we have the Ace of Bows. How cool is that? After this Sagittarius full moon, here's Sagittarius, the Archer, here's the bow and the arrow. What is your aim? What do you want to take an interest in? So I'm looking at this boredom here as you know, that I'm looking for the antidote to that. And it is, I used to tell my kids, there's no such thing as being bored, that it's being boring. I'm being boring. You need to find an interest in something, take an interest, you know. So here's Sagittarius, the Archer, the bow and the arrow. We need to identify our aim and the means of getting there. The arrow is the aim, what's going to take me there, and the bow is what's the impetus, what's going to launch me forward in this energy that wants to aim at something and make a difference. Let's look this up. The Archer stands at the spring equinox, at the place of the sunrise, the element of air, creative energy and inspiration. Here's the dawn of a new life and the coming of a fertile and fulfilling season. So this is indicative of the season that we're in right now. And before we get to summer, maybe kind of looking back and saying, what was my aim at the beginning of spring? And, you know, when we live in such critical times and everything is a fucking crisis, when we've got, you know, the crisis in Ukraine and in Europe, and that crisis is just now beginning. We won't fully know the impact of it until harvest time. And this is one of Putin's agendas, is starving the world, starving Europe. So anyway, when we are in these critical times and everything is very critical, we can forget about our personal agenda and our personal aim and how to even take care of ourselves. And that is just as vital. You cannot help the world if you're non-functional, right? So look at your aims. What were you after? And particularly this full moon, what are you after? What do you want? The first step to getting is knowing what the hell you want to get, you know? So the clearer you are, always remember that the clearer you are about the what, the easier it is for the universe to supply the how. And that's your job, to define the what. It is Spirit's job to show you the how. But then the other part is that surrender card, where you've got to let yourself be guided. Okay? Now, and then we have the Four of Bows, the celebration. Look at that. Oh, okay. I'm laughing because my husband and I watch these shows on archaeology, and this particular show called Time Team that was a British show for like 24 years or something horrendous like that, but it's a great show. And there was one particular archaeologist that's from the north, and he always says, look at that, look at that. So then we watch these metal detectorists too, and so we have an imaginary drinking game, and every time somebody says look at that, it's like imaginary shot. And sometimes we're watching 10 minutes and it's like, you know, we'd be potted by now. Anyway, sidetrack. So here, Four of Bows, celebration, and we have stones, vessels, archer, bows, bows. So this is talking about the physical foundation of our home and the healing that happens there. So let's start with, especially if you're finding yourself bored and unmotivated and I don't know where to start, always a great place to start is clean something. Take one little table. If you're overwhelmed, just this one thing, that's all I have to do, and clean it with your full attention, and while you're cleaning it, feel the healing resonating on all levels. So healing your home through care and cleaning, and that can help bring you out of the doldrums. And then we look at, okay, what is my aim now in my personal life, in the outer world? What am I going to do? And when you get clear in yourself on that, that is cause for celebration. Celebrate the coming of that blessing. I always give thanks for blessings received and blessings yet to come, because I know they're coming. So we know that we have celebration on the way. This can be on your personal level all the way up to the, you know, planet Earth collective level. All right. But it's very important that we know the target and what we're aiming at. And then there's celebration to be had. All right. I'd say that's pretty clear. Okay. Yes, it is a good day to die is Native American. Absolutely. And that's when, you know, when they were threatened, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, you know, if you don't do this, we're going to kill you. And it's like, hey, it's a good day to die. How can you control somebody like that? You can't. Somebody that's that mentally free, you cannot. Okay. Vesta sweeps the temple on June 15th. The temple is open today. All can enter only today as the old energy is swept away. Yep. Very good, Tavia. All right. Now our last one is our hidden realm. I love these Llewellyn decks. They have, you know, I'm finding that the decks that I have most argument with lately are LS decks. But the, you know, the big chunky Oracle decks too. But, okay, all right. They don't want to shuffle like that anymore. Hi, Stephanie. Hello, honey. I'm glad you made it. Better late than never, never too late. And while you guys are hanging out when I'm shuffling, feel free to hit that like button. I appreciate it. Please and thank you. All right. The hidden realm, the Fae, the Fae, the Fae. Tell me what message you have for us. We had 3 leapers. Okay. Let's start with those. The Empress. The Queen of Cups. And the Sun. Well, well. The Queen of Cups in the middle is that person that is so very in touch with their own emotional body. And it's this flow where you can be in the flow. You let your feelings inform, but you don't let them drive the boat, right? You let them tell you about your circumstances and your surroundings and how comfortable you feel in those circumstances and surroundings, but we don't let the emotions take charge. And there was someone on a Facebook page was talking about, I think it was my highly sensitive person's page that I follow. Oh goodness. Talking about their child being highly sensitive and how do I help them deal with their intense emotions and everything. And it's like, well, remind them that their emotions belong to them, but they aren't who they are. Your emotions belong to you. They are not who you are, which is why I always argue with the I am angry, I am sad. No, I feel angry, I feel sad, and feelings flow in their natural state. And so it's always moving and turning and changing. But the Empress here and the Queen of Cups, the physical, the emotional, talking about the abundance, being able to be resourceful with everything that's been given to you, being the caretaker and the nurturer and the mother of this earth. Look at her fiery red hair, creative, abundant. And then here is the psychic ability, being tuned in to that the ocean that flows inside of us and the nature of that ocean. Look at the sunny cards, and then we've got the kind of darker on the inside. The sun, empowerment, ability, consciousness, success. And I'm reminded by those two that the earth will survive anything we can throw at her. You know, what doesn't survive is the part that specifically supports us. But the earth herself is our resource, our mother, our empowerment, our joy. Okay, I'm just taking off the top now. Then we have the Ten of Wands and the Two of Cups. Let's see. This is talking about getting to know when things are too much, when your physical resources are becoming kind of almost a jail to you. But I'm looking at this child. I'm going to look him up. This is also a deck I don't reach for often enough. The intense energy and power of the Ten of Wands can feel like a burden. So they do follow the standard definitions. How can you possibly wield all that potential? It's a big responsibility. Okay, so here's what we do. This card is when we get overwhelmed by all of our creative ideas that we are unable to bring to fruition. That, you know, I've got so many ideas that I don't even know where to begin. So back we go again to the Empress saying, take practical steps, practical physical steps. Remember that inspiration, thoughts, that kind of creative energy that flows through you can't get anywhere without coming through your body in some way, without being informed by your emotions, but coming through your body. The body provides structure. The body clothes it in earth, in the material, so it becomes real. Like I said, if you have a great idea of a poem, you have to write it. You've got to put it down on paper, speak it out loud. If you have, I want to make this beautiful vase I have in my mind, well, you got to sit down at the potter's wheel and get your hand on the clay. So talking about it coming through your body in some way to bring it on this earth realm. And the Ten of Wands here is saying that we get overwhelmed because we have so many ideas of what to do. So again, I invite you to bring it down to the most practical level and maybe clean something or focus on one interest, just one. The Two of Cups here also says ask for someone to join you in this. So someone that also has the emotional pull to do the things that you want to do, to bring the healing where you see it needed. I'm also thinking that when you find that little niche for yourself, that, you know, here's the part that I am called to play. Here's the role I am called to play. And you also need to hear loud and clear that whatever that one thing is, and it doesn't have to be just one thing, but the thing that you choose to focus on now, it's got to be enough. Let it be enough. Let whatever you can do be enough. It is not up to you to solve all of the problems of the world. If it were, you would be sitting in the White House, you know, or in the UN. This is where you have to know that the role you're being called to play is enough. It's your role, okay? And yes, Samantha, wherever two or more are gathered, that's right. Here's the spirit, the woman leading, but you can attract help to you and meet new people too. Look at the pairs here. You can meet people that share your passions and feel like you can get more done. Remember the communication, co-creation, and there was another card about networking. So networking is very much key here as well. And then at the bottom, we have the Page of Cups. Look at these. Look at all the people looking in cups here. So, divining, scrying, asking spirit for help. This card represents someone who's fascinated by emotions and relationships, likely discovering a new level of intimacy. So that plays out here as well. And this also can talk about those of us that have been down this emotional road and have experience in dealing with these things and have come out the other side of long darkness, you know, that we can also be here to mentor the ones that are just coming in and not knowing, that are feeling overwhelmed by their feelings. We can be here to partner with and to help. And I want an extra on that. And we have the Ace of Wands there. Wow. So creativity, that strong, motivating urge to create something new. So here's the overwhelm, and we pair this 10 down to an ace, the one-pointedness, just for today. Here's what I want to work on. If it pans out into something that's a lifelong passion, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But one of the core messages here is in having a purpose, defining your purpose. Sometimes the purpose gets defined on the back end, like when we are hit with circumstances not of our choosing, and we're like, this is horrible, this never should have happened, you know, all this kind of stuff. What am I going to do about it, or what am I going to do with it, is the purpose that is defined on the back end of an event. This here is talking more about front end purpose. What we decide we take a great interest in, what do we feel like we can commit emotionally to, what would we like to partner with someone on, because the ace here says it's time to get started, and we certainly have plenty of indicators that this emotional journey and this creative journey can be brought into material form with the Empress, and the Sun says that it can shine far broader than just the people that are working on it. So again, this is, they're saying one more, and we have the Page of Wands. So lots of wands here, wands and cups. You know what that is, don't you? That's the Great Right, because wands represent fire. Fire and water are the primal elements that bring life into creation on this planet. So this is you co-creating with the universe, co-creating with a partner, bringing your inspiration, your enthusiasm, and your emotional curiosity and emotional know-how to what, you know, really lights your fuse, and then the Empress helps you bring it into physical form, and the Sun says, shine your light. Time to shine your light out there. So the boredom card in the last one is really telling me about busting the doldrums. You know, we've been holding on to an inhale for so long, and you know, everything was focused on the invasion of Ukraine and what's going on in Europe. So focused, and then all of a sudden, you know, mass shooting, and then now here come the hearings, so we're yanked back into that fucking mess. And I want to say here, as long as you do let your voice be heard in terms of the vote, you are absolutely within your rights to completely ignore the political situation. If it is spinning you, if it's taking you out of your life to the point where you are feeling like you're just worn down, okay, you can always pick it up again. But, you know, the big governmental stuff, like I said, your job there is to make your voice heard by your vote. Do what you can there. But we also have very big things in our personal lives. So much, so much to deal with. Oh boy, I want another one, please. Actually, they're telling me look at the bottom of the pack. I forget to look at the foundation. Here's the Four of Swords. All right, so this is talking about a mental break and a rest. Being able to put your mind someplace else. Yes, you are allowed to look away and take a mental break to bring the balance back. In the beginning, we were talking about alignment, balance, and we need to stay balanced in our own energy system in order to be effective at all. So, oh, interesting. So, my loves, my love, my dear, my precious, take good care of yourselves. Please take good care of yourselves. Okay. Right, catching up. 13 watching. Awesome. Ding ding. Follow your intuition to find the energy that you want to be vibrating at, where you're sending your energy, where it's productive. Yep, absolutely. And yes, thank you, Einstein. You can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. So what is problem solving? It's changing your mind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. You know, the mind is the builder, is what Edgar Casey said. When you do spell work, what do? You visualize it first. You structure it in your mind. You make it live in your mind, in logistics and detail. And then you bring in the emotional. What's this going to feel like when I have it? You bring in the will, the fire. I will accomplish this. I am ready to take steps. And then the final, of course, you align with spirit, and the final is seeing it in manifested earth form. So, yeah, absolutely. There are those that are completely invested in us staying stuck in powerlessness. And no, the reason they do that is because we are powerful beyond belief, and they don't like that. They don't like that. And I feel that we're getting closer and closer to a general strike. I think in the U.S., if there were a general strike and we brought commerce grinding to a halt, something might happen. Something might happen. Because okay, which one was it? Something that passed the House and was going to the Senate. And it's like, it's going to get filibustered there. What the hell was it? I can't remember. But, we do have this agreement, this bipartisan agreement on gun safety. It's the absolute minimum because they are scrounging to look like they're doing something now. It's gotten to the point where they have been called out in no uncertain terms, and some decisions are going to have to be made by these motherfuckers that are riding the coattails and sucking off of the government teeth and not doing their jobs. Okay, rant over. Rant over. All right. Wow, you guys, this was fun, but I have to tell you, I am rather humid right now. And it's just, the only thing is I've got my little fairy lights on here. They put out a lot of heat because they're LEDs, and my ring light, it's enough. Anyhow, I sure appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. I really, really do. Let me show you decks that are coming up for unboxing, just to get you excited about them. I'm on a mini kick. I guess I'll take myself back to it again. I'm on a mini kick. So I have the Tarot of White Cats and the Tarot of the New Vision in mini form. So those are two. And then I have, this is the Beline Oracle that I could not get a copy of because it's French, it's European, cannot be had here, but I made myself a copy of it. And it is a cartomantic style deck. And that's coming up. I found a deck in my collection that I had not unboxed in the first big rush of unboxing, and I can't believe it. It's called the Universal Fantasy Tarot. So that one's coming up. And I find myself, I might be getting a little impatient and start dropping like more than 2 unboxing videos a week. And then we have tarot cats. So these are like those cats in Renaissance paintings where the artist seemingly has never seen an actual cat. Then we have this called In Dreams. It's on Russian dream divination. Holy moly. We have the Manara Erotic Oracle, so another Tata deck. We have the Fairy Wisdom Oracle by Amy Brown. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Amy Brown's fairies, but there's a deck, and her mother wrote the book, so hell yeah. Then Soul Cats. And I have a few others that I won't show you because I don't feel like reaching that far. At any rate, there's a lot of really cool decks coming up. So I am getting back into the swing of a tarot on Monday and an oracle on Friday and a live on Wednesday. And thank you all for being here. And yes, I am coming out of the Epstein-Barr flare thanks to, you know, my doctor and my sister and the wonderful supplements and things that I've been taking. One day at a time, getting better every day. That's what I will say. So, Amy Brown Fairies Malachi. Ooh, I wonder if Malachi is in this deck. I don't know. I don't know that she names them in that sense. Anyhow, thank you again. If you found a great deal of value here, please, number one, hit the like button. It's free. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that too, which is also free. And then there's a Patreon link below. It's only a $3 option to just say, add a witch, Luna, and, you know, just a little bit of support to buy me some coffee or contribute to my next bottle of brandy. And there are ways to just send a little donation to me. I appreciate everything. Nothing is too small. It just keeps that circle turning. So thanks again so much. I will see you on Friday for an oracle unboxing, and sometime soon on a weekend for a prayer circle. Okay, very soon. I love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Blessed be.